Hello, today we are going to work with transversal lines. And when we're talking about a transversal line, we need to remember that that is taking a line and slicing it. So if I have this line right here, I know that if I find a spot anywhere in the middle, and if I measure all the way from here to here, we get a 180. So it's 180 degree angle right here. So anytime you have a straight line and go from one point on the line to another point on the line in an arc, you're going to have 180 degrees. If I were to take and draw any line through that line, if I know that if I go from here to here, it's 180 degrees. I know that if I take the measure of this angle and the measure of this angle together, I get, if I add these two together, I get 180 degrees. And those are called supplementary angles, okay? It's important to know what a supplementary angle is because we're going to be using it quite a bit here in our transversal angles. So let's go ahead and start talking about these. So we have parallel lines and transversal. So A and B are parallel lines. Line T is my transversal. It cuts through both angles. Now, because these are two parallel lines, the angles of this transversal section are going to be the exact same as this transversal section, okay? And so we're going to talk about the different kinds, and there's many different kinds. So a transversal is a line that intersects two lines in the same plane at two different points. Transversal T and lines A and B form 8 angles. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have exterior, so it's our outside of the two parallels. And then we have interior, which are the angles that are inside the parallel lines, okay? If I were to draw it this direction, I have my parallel lines, I have my transversal line. Again, I have 8 angles. The ones on the outside of the parallel lines, those are my exteriors, and the ones between the two parallel lines, those are my interiors, okay? We're going to be working with some terminology here, some vocabulary, and there is quite a bit, so this will take quite a bit of time. We have angle pairs that are formed by the transversal, and each one has a different set of names to it. So when we're talking about the first one, we're talking about the angles that lie on the same side of the transversal, which is that T, that line that goes at an angle, and on the same sides of lines A and B. How I like to describe them is they are in the same location on each of the parallel lines. So in this section, they are the same top left-hand corner, top left-hand corner. These are called corresponding angles. So in our example that we have here, that would be angle 1 and angle 5. It would be angle 2 and angle 6. It would be angle 3 and angle 7. And also it would be angle 4 and angle 8. These are all going to be equal to each other, so they are going to be congruent. They're going to be equal. The next one that we're talking about are non-adjacent. non-adjacent angles that lie on the opposite sides of the transversal T between A and B. So I'm talking about angle 3 and angle 6. They're between the two parallel lines, and they are on opposite sides of that transversal. So this would be angle 3 and angle 6. These are called alternate interior. And they are equal to each other. Another ordered pair, alternate interior angles, it'd be 4 and 5. Angles 4 and angle 5. My third kind of angles I can get from this are called alternate exterior. And just like the name says, it's exterior, so it's on the outside, and they're on all opposite sides of the transversal. So angle 1 is alternate exterior to angle 8. Angle 1 and angle 8. And then I have angle 2, which is an exterior to the alternate, which is 7. So angle 2 and angle 7. And these are also equal to each other. So if I know the measure of 1, I know the measure of 8. Okay? My next one, this will be the fourth one that we're talking about. They lay on the same side of the transversal between A and B. So it's between, so they're interior, and they're on the same side. So this is called same side interior. And so this would be like 3 and 5. The difference between these two is you can obviously see this is a wide angle and this is a short angle. The sum equals 180 degrees. If I were to add those two together, they would equal 180 degrees. And so the same side interior angles would be 3 and 5. Also, they would be 4 and 6. Another one that we talk about, but it's not mentioned here, are same side exteriors, and they're the same way. So if I were looking at an exterior on the same side, like 1 and 7, you see this is a narrow angle and this is a wide angle. If I add the sum of those two together, I would also get 180. And those are called same side exterior. And again, those are exterior, so they're outside the parallel lines, but they're on the same side of the transversal line. Okay. If I have two pairs of opposite angles made by two intersecting lines, then I have vertical angles. And these angles are made, well, here, I'll just draw it off to the side. I think it'll be easier. If I take two lines and cross them, what they're talking about is that this angle is the same measure as this angle. So they're going to be equal to each other. And then it would be this angle is going to be the same measure as this angle. Anytime you have two lines that intersect, you have vertical angles that appear. Okay? Up in our section up above, if I can find some, I would have angle 1 and angle 4 would be vertical angles. Angle 5 and angle 8 would be vertical angles. 2 and 3, and 6 and 7. So let's see, that's 1, 4, 5, and 8. And then it was 2, 3, 6, 7. Squeeze it in there. There we go. When I have two angles whose sum is 180, they are considered to be supplementary. If they're angles with the same measure, then they are considered to be congruent. So the equal 180, it's supplementary. If they are equal to each other, then it is congruent. All right, finding unknown angle measures. We can use what we just learned to find the measure of angles, giving the just a little bit of information. So they want us to use the two parallel lines here that are cut by this transversal, and they want to find at least the measure of at least one other angle measure. And so I know that angle 2 is here, and angle 7 is here. And it says that angle 7 is 125. They are exterior, so they're exterior. They are on opposite sides, so they're alternates. And we know that alternate exterior angles are equal. So that means that if 7 is 125, 2 is 125 degrees. Let's look at the next example. Find a measure of angle 1 when the measure of angle 5 is 65. So we know 65 is here. And they want me to find 1. What kind of angles are these? If you said corresponding, you're correct. They are in the same area. Oops. They are in the same location on the transversal, but on the opposite parallel line. So they're in the same location. And we know that corresponding angles are equal. So if the measure of angle 5 is 65, the measure of angle 1 is also going to be 65 degrees. Okay, then we're looking at this one. It says in each diagram, parallel lines are cut by a transversal. Name the angles that are congruent to the indicated angle. And congruent, we know, is exact same measure. Okay, so angle 1 is this one right here. And I want all the angles that are the same size as angle 1. Using corresponding angles, I know that angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding, or congruent. I also know that vertical lines are congruent, so I know that 1 and 3 are equal to each other. I also know that alternate exterior, so 1 and 7, are also congruent. So I have these 3 that are congruent to angle 1. Okay, look at number 10. I have these two parallel lines with this transversal, and they want all the angles that are congruent to angle A. So this one right here. So take a look and find all the ones that are congruent to angle A. If you picked angle C, angle E, and angle G, you are correct. Angle A and angle E are alternate interior angles. They are congruent. Angle A is vertical to angle C, so those are congruent. And same side corresponding angles, angle A and angle G, are also congruent. Okay, look at number 11 and do number 11, please. you should have picked angles Y, R, and T. In each diagram, parallel lines are cut by a transversal and the measure of one angle is given. Write the measures of the remaining angles on the diagram. We're going to do number 12 together. So I have two parallel lines, and I have this transversal, and I know that this one is 150, and this one's 150. These are corresponding. If I think about them being vertical angles, I know that vertical angles are also congruent. So I know that this angle is equal to this angle and is equal to this angle. So this is 150 and this is 150. Now, if I look at this angle with this one, it has this straight line. That means that this angle and this angle together make 180. So this is a supplementary angle. If I take 180 and I subtract 150 from it, I'm going to get 30 degrees. So that means that this is a 30-degree angle. So if this is 30-degree angle, this is also a 30-degree angle. It's vertical. This corresponds with this one, and that is 30-degree angle. And it is vertical to this one. And so this is a 30-degree angle. Take a look at number 13 and see if you can figure out what the different corresponding angles are. Do the work on your notes, please. So you should have gotten the measures of 135 that are displayed here in blue and angles that are measuring 45 that are here in red. Okay? Take a look at number 14. Find all the missing angles on your notes, and then check back with me to see if you have the correct answers. Okay, you should see that vertical angle here is 25 degrees, corresponding angle here is 25 degrees, and vertical to that one is 25 degrees, or alternate exterior. And then the ones in green are supplementary here, so 155. Vertical to it is 155. Corresponding to that is 155, and vertical is 155. Okay, if you have any questions, please make sure you're talking with your teacher. Okay, this is the last example. This is in your notes. I would like for you to find the measures of the missing angles. I'll do number 7 with you, and then you can do 8, 9, and 10 on your homework, or in your notes. So I have the measure of the angle TRS. And this TRS, I know that's because the R is in the center here, it is going to be the angle, the point of the angle, the vertice. Okay? So measure of TRS when T in P. So T in P is this one here. And TRS, that would be this one. These are, so TPN is 40 degrees. I know this angle to this angle, they are corresponding, and so it also equals 40 degrees. So go ahead and go to measure of angle QRU. QRU, that would be this one here. And we know MNR. MNR is this one here. If MNR is 30, what is QRU? Go ahead and finish. Make sure that you check with your teacher if you have any questions, and I will come back with part 2.